right here. Face that direction. Put your arms out like this. And be kind of strong. His name is Julius. And Julius came to us as a science teacher, bought Julius when he was about this big. And she was in New Mexico in high school. And she read the books on how to take care of Julius, and she did a good job. This is my program. Did all this stuff to keep the snake nice, the animal nice and warm. And then she built the snake, the animal, a nice home for it to live in. And you know what happened to the snake, the animal? It kept eating and growing until it got so big, they needed to find a new home. We're talking Julius Squeezer. We're talking 11 feet, 90 pounds of the beautiful Burmese python snake. Come on out here, Julius. This is Julius, and Julius is the Burmese python. An amazing creature. How you doing here? Not good? Tough, you volunteered. Now, this snake is one of the biggest snakes on the planet. The Burmese pythons are one of the largest snakes. This is a half-grown snake. They never truly stop growing, but they routinely get twice this size. This is a big snake. We've all heard the stories. I call them Tarzan stories. Tarzan's walking in the jungle, the big snake leaps out of the tree, wraps around Tarzan's neck, falls to the ground, the snake eats him, right? You know how ridiculous that is? This is a big snake, but can only eat something the size of a rabbit. That's it. It's pretty cool it can do that. It sits there and it flicks its tongue. It flicks that tongue, and what is a snake doing with that tongue? Smelling, right? It's sticking its tongue out, grabbing little particles of air, bringing the particles of air back to the roof of the mouth, where it has something called the Jacobson's organ, touches the tongue in these little holes, and when it senses there's prey, it sits really quiet, and it waits, and when a rabbit gets too close, it strikes. It grabs on with over 50 teeth inside that little mouth. 50 teeth all pointing backwards. It grabs on, and it starts to wrap around, and it grabs on and starts to squeeze. This is not a venomous snake, is it? Do you know how you can tell it's not a venomous snake? No, because we're holding it. This is not a venomous snake. Most of the heavy-bodied snakes are not venomous. This snake kills by squeezing, and when the animal's dead, it starts to move its jaws back and forth, then the muscles take over. The muscles push that rabbit down here into the middle. And this is the stomach, a big, long stomach, big bump sits there 4 or 5 days. Then the weights, this is where you come in. The weights, the water, the bones, the weights, it's pushed all the way down to this end. Do you know what you're holding? The dangerous end. Oh snap. That's where they go to the bathroom. But you know what? I think we're okay because this thing eats once a month, only goes to the bathroom once a month. Leaves a lot of time for doing stuff around the house, doesn't it? You know, there's no real reason to be afraid of snakes. And if anybody is truly nervous about snakes, I would suggest maybe getting a book and reading about them. I think we're afraid of stuff we don't understand. We learn just a little bit, it can dispel a lot of that fear. And it's pretty heavy, huh? Yeah, it's a pretty heavy animal. And not really as pretty as he normally is. Julius is getting ready to shed his skin. That whole skin will come off in one piece. Really cool. Now, I love Burmese pythons, but they're a huge problem in the United States right now. Burmese pythons have established a wild population in our southern swamps. Burmese pythons are living in the Everglades, and they're doing a lot of environmental damage. I love Burmese pythons, but they belong in India, not here in our southern Everglades. All right, let's go volunteer here. Big hand. You did great. Now back to your seat. And say goodbye to Julius Squeezer, the Burmese python.